unconscious bias. There are so many biases out there. Do they really affect women and minorities in the workplace? Well, today we are going to be talking about performance bias. So you can learn what performance bias is, and you can learn if it affects your ability to earn promotions and raises without having to ask, or even when you ask. Hi, my name is Mary Gervais, and I'm the founder of My Promotion Plan and a holistic career strategist. I am dedicated to helping women go from passed over to promoted through my revolutionary My Promotion Plan system, the same system that helped me go from stuck to being made an executive and a partner women across the country are using to double their incomes and live their dream lives. But today, we're going to be talking all about performance bias. So what is performance bias? Well, performance bias tells us that it's an unconscious decision, and I think that's the first thing we should probably talk about. When we're talking about bias, biases are an unconscious decision. So a decision that is not within our conscious control. Now, we may think that we are not making these decisions, but they are happening without us even realizing. So they are in our subconscious. We subconsciously make decisions, which is amazing, right? Because we need to make subconscious decisions. Otherwise, if we were having to constantly think of every single thing, we would not be able to be very productive in life. We would not get a lot of things done if we had to wake up every day and learn how to consciously, have our heartbeats, consciously stand up and walk. But no, we can just stand up and walk. We do that subconsciously. But whenever it comes to a bias, what a bias tells us is that we have an unfavorable opinion or decision that we make without logically thinking. Now, the problem with bias is that people don't generally know that they have biases, even though they do. Men and women, we all have biases. And also, because we're not aware of these biases, we don't really have any kind of control over them. But logically, we won't believe that we're making decisions subconsciously. I know that was a lot to handle here, but let's talk about performance bias. So performance bias says that without thinking, we are going to make a negative judgment towards a person based on factors. So for performance bias, when it comes to genders, women are actually seen as less capable of doing a job that they haven't yet performed. Now, this is really important because this is not a men and women conversation, okay? I love men, so it's not that conversation. But if you're a woman, this is important for you to understand. And here's why. A couple of things. One, if you have been getting career advice from other men, they likely have been just telling you, we'll work really hard. Keep working really hard. Keep getting on strategic projects. You're going to get noticed. And that is the advice that they're going to give you because that's how it worked for them. But that's not how it will likely work for you. We know this when we look at the pay gaps. There's a gap in pay and there's a gap in position. There's a high gap in position, higher than pay. And what we see is that the executive suites are only filled by women. Only less than a quarter of the executive suites are filled by women. And it's not because women aren't ambitious. It's not because women aren't in the workforce. We make up 50% of the workforce. It's not because we're not capable, because we are more than capable. But we have this performance bias. And it's not even sometimes that we're not asking for that promotion, because sometimes we are and we're still being told no. So if you've been told no for a promotion that you knew that you were more than capable of, or perhaps you've just been waiting for your boss to notice you because that's what somebody else told you to do, or if you're like me, I thought that working harder and waiting was the way that you advanced your career, because early on, I was getting those raises and promotions. But here's the thing. When we understand performance bias, all we need to know is, okay, my boss is likely not to see me in a role that I actually haven't performed yet. This actually happened in my career. When I was trying to advance my career, I actually went into my boss's office. There was an open position. I said, hey, I want this open position. And they told me, we're not sure that you're right for the position, but if you can do the job, then we'll give you the pay and title. Well, if we look at the facts, I was named Team Member of the Year before, and I had the largest and most successful coaching load at the time. And I was in the position leading up to that position. I was training the other coaches. So why is it that they couldn't see me in this other position? Well, performance bias is one of those main things where if a man comes in, they can just kind of talk about what they can do in that future position, or they were just seen like, well, they did well in this position, they'll move them in. That's not always the case for us as women, which is why it's important for us to strategically approach our bosses for advancement. And that's why my promotion plan system that I teach is the number one way for women to advance their careers. Like, it has such a high success rate because it takes and it overcomes these biases, because you can't go to your boss and say, hey, you have performance bias. You're just picking these people for these reasons. No. So you have two options to overcome performance bias. The first option is to take on things before you actually get the pay and the title. So if you know the next position that you want to move into, then think about, what are the skills that I need to learn for that position? What are the roles that I need to fill? What is it that I actually need to do? So you can actually start doing the position before you get the pay and the title. That's one thing that you can do. The other thing that you can do is you can show your strategy for that position. And this is what I teach in my promotion planning system. I teach you how to lay out your ideas and how to solve problems and how to show your strategic vision for that position. What this does is it overcomes the performance bias, and it helps them to see you in the role before you're actually in the role, because now they can see, oh, she does have the insight. Oh, she does have the strategy. Oh, she does know what that position looks like. And sometimes it's easier for us to write it down. It's also, I believe, really important for us to write our ideas down. Studies show that you are 40% more likely to get your ideas adopted if you just write them down. So that's what performance bias is, and that's exactly how to overcome it. So if you like this video, please be sure to subscribe, hit the little notification button so you will know when other great videos like this are coming out. And you can head on over to maryjervich.com if you'd like to learn more about the My Promotion Planning System and how you can earn a promotion in just under 4 weeks. You can watch my free masterclass, Why Earning a Promotion Feels So Dang Hard, and what you can do instead. And just remember, you're only one plan away from your next promotion, and God, well, He's not done with you.